This was used as a hospital, a lunatic asylum. It was used when the police stayed here, a holding station.
That freaks me out. I don't like that. Literally walking past this very window, and it was like a deep male voice.
In the cell right in the corner in white rags was a man with a big red bushy beard.
Paranormal activity has been captured here and captured on camera.
You don't, it's already going off.
That was a bit creepy. It was like someone breathing. Hi Crypt Keepers, thank you so much for tuning into AmysCrypt. Tonight we have a very interesting place to investigate. This is known as the Fremantle Roundhouse. It is the oldest building in Western Australia, dating to 1831, and it used to be a jail. So stay tuned. The Fremantle Roundhouse is a place of amazing history, being the oldest standing building in all of Western Australia. Due to its sordid past of imprisonment, death and execution, many believe the Roundhouse to be incredibly haunted.
The Roundhouse was the first municipal building built in Western Australia. It was built in 1830 and opened in 1831. It wasn't convict constructed. The convicts didn't arrive here until 1850. It was just built by local tradesmen and the people that were actually locked up, not in the jail, because they were building it around themselves basically. It's the oldest building in WI, longest one still standing, and it was built to accommodate 2 prisoners in each cell. There was originally 8 cells here, now there's only 4. And the largest number of people incarcerated in here at one time was 43, which is 5 to a cell plus 3 left over. Once the big prison opened in 1854, this was used as a hospital, a lunatic asylum. It was used when the police stayed here, and it was also used as a holding station basically for Aboriginal prisoners that were sent out to rot nest. But most of the deaths that occurred here are well recorded.
Tonight, we will reach out to the ghosts claimed to inhabit this historic structure and attempt to make communication. We are currently standing at the front entry door of the Fremantle Roundhouse. We're going to do a walkthrough. You may notice behind me we haven't completely lost daylight yet, but I want to start right now. And the reason being is because I know the paranormal activity has been captured here and captured on camera before it is fully dark, right about this time of day even. So I'm going to chuck Ghost Tube on. We're going to walk through as we normally do. Hopefully we get some responses come through that might help guide the investigation. Now, this part of the roundhouse, it actually used to be part of living quarters. So the warden of the original jail would live here along with the family.
I'm guessing this is the warden's family?
This is representative of the family, I'm guessing, yeah. Very cute. Okay, so this window here, I'll show you it from inside the roundhouse courtyard, which is obviously just out here. But at this time of day, so I guess dusk, James, who we interviewed earlier, was telling us a story about a piece of footage someone on his tour group captured, and there's this weird anomaly that comes through past the window. This area was all kind of closed off. There wasn't anyone in here during the tour, but you can very, very clearly see. What did it look like to you, Jared?
So it looked like someone walking past the window in white.
A white anomaly kind of passed through, just like, just like that.
Yeah, well, it is very well haunted. I've actually been doing the ghost tour here in Fremantle for about 7 years. And I actually have a video of a ghost going through this room as I'm outside there talking.
Oh, this place looks amazing.
I love this place. Gorgeous. If you're ever in Fremantle, come and visit. Oh my god, oldest building in WA. Very cool. That is the other side of the window, so I'm just gonna make note of that, and that's probably an area we'll monitor tonight and set up, you know, an SLS camera to try. We're gonna monitor this because Jared and I are here to capture paranormal activity at the Roundhouse, so we just want to introduce ourselves. Hello. If there is anyone here tonight, please don't be shy to try and communicate with us.
Oh, there's base camp, by the way, guys.
Oh yeah, base camp. A couple of cells here. There's 4 cells that are still in existence today, but there used to be 8. Unfortunately, the cells on this side of the courtyard, they've all been knocked out, which is a sad loss for the history of this place. but we still have 4 to play with. There's 2 that are of particular interest to me, so I'm going to go into the first one. It probably has like the scariest story to go with it.
I did a ghost tour up here one night, and there was a young girl on the tour, and I always make a point of asking, has anybody seen a ghost? And she said, oh yeah, I've seen a couple. And she went into the cell at the end there, and she came out in about 1.5 milliseconds looking absolutely terrified. And I went across to her and I said, what happened? And she said, well, when I was in there, there was kind of like a time shift. And she was in that cell with a man who had massively, a big bushy red head of hair and a big red bushy beard. And he was in white rags. She said he was basically climbing up the walls. And about 3 months after that, I was doing another ghost tour. And I shared that story with the group that was with me. And one of the girls came to me afterwards and said, look, I was up here one day with my sister in the daytime. My sister went into that same cell. She came out really quick and said, go and have a look in there. And she said, why? I said, just go and have a look. And the girl said she went into the cell, and in the cell right in the corner in white rags was a man with a big red bushy beard and a mad shock of red ginger hair. So 2 different people.
It's very dry and musty in the cell.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe it's because we're right on the coast, so when we're out here in the courtyard, it's fresh air, so it feels very different in the cell. This is where multiple sightings of what I'm assuming is the same man, because the descriptions people have given of this man are the same. So if there is a man that lingers in this cell, in this area, my name's Amy and I'm here with Jared. We're going to be here all night. Please don't be shy to come say hello. Show yourself to us. I would love to see you. I know that you've shown yourself to other females before. The description of this man as well. James was telling us earlier, he said that one of the girls who saw him, he was like climbing up the wall onto the roof kind of thing. And that freaks me out. I don't like that. That particular part of the description.
Yeah, crawly spirits is always a bit creepy.
Creepy crawl, like, that's not a human thing to do, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what they mean by crawling up the wall. Like, I picture a Spider-Man. I picture like a spider. Freaks me out. This next cell, we did hear another story about this cell, which was quite tragic really. One of the convicts who was essentially jailed and trapped up in here did die because of exposure.
The cell over here, the roof was leaking and he was being exposed to the weather, and he was asking for more clothing and blankets, and none were given to him. And they opened up the cell in the morning and found him dead. He died from exposure. So there's quite a lot of ghost activity here.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to show you as much of these cells as possible, but as you can see, they're quite small.
They are. I have got something for our American viewers right now. So anyone watching from the US, I'm going to show you something really cool. We are currently in the state of Western Australia, here in Australia, and this is how freaking big it is. So this is Texas. Oh, okay, so we've got Ireland, shout out if you're from Ireland, or the UK, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. So you can kind of see how big this state is, how big Australia is. It is huge.
Yeah, that's just one of our states.
Yeah, that's one state. So this is the last room I want to share with you guys. So again, this would have been part of the living quarters for the Roundhouse, for the wardens that lived here. This place was also used for like a number of other uses throughout the years. Oh, I just heard your footstep then and I thought someone was actually walking on the floor. That kind of freaked me out. So I also just want to touch on the story of John Gavin. That was the first European person of descent from Europe hanged here in Western Australia, and I think it was the only hanging done at the Roundhouse. Now, John Gavin was just 15 years old, and these days they don't actually think that he committed this crime. So really his story is quite tragic.
Only one person was ever hung here. His name was John Gavin. He was a 15-year-old boy from England. He was brought here from the Parkhurst prison along with a lot of other young men, and they weren't actually recorded as prisoners. They were recorded as being apprentices, and they were sent out to work in the community. He was sent to work with a family called the Pollards down near Pinjarra, and at one point the 18-year-old son was killed and John Gavin got the blame. And he was only 15 years old, but over the weekend of Easter in 1836, they charged him with murder of George Pollard, who was 18, a very well-built farm boy. Brought up to Fremantle, charged, found guilty, hung at the bottom of the steps in front of the Roundhouse here. And they reckon it was a miscarriage of justice. They brought up some portable gallows and hung him about 10 metres to the left of the entrance here. And I've actually got an orb photo of a photo of an orb on the balcony next door, so it could well be John Gavin's ghost.
So yeah, I'm not actually sure if John haunts the Roundhouse. I've heard some stories that he does, but I've also been told that he kind of haunts the area of the Shipwreck Museum, which is where people believe he's buried in that area, but no one actually knows the exact area he was buried. So I think his story is pretty tragic, and he was only 15, especially if he's innocent, you know what I mean?
It's already going off.
What is?
Cat ball on the table there.
Oh. Okay, so this is the very first spot that I want to officially reach out to the spirits in. This is the area where something has been captured on camera, literally walking past this very window. We've also got the courtyard monitored. We're using GhostTube SLS, so you know, maybe it will map a figure.
You can see our rig out there, I think.
Yeah.
Set up there.
In addition to that, I've gone ahead and rigged up a night vision camera and the REM pod in the cell with the man who kind of like crawls up the wall. So I don't know, maybe we'll get some activity there. We're going to kick things off in here. If there are any spirits, we're very friendly people and we're visiting the Roundhouse for the first time. This is my first time ever in Fremantle or Western Australia. I want to say thank you. You might have already done this because this was it this one on the table?
Yeah, the one on the table there was moving.
So we bought some balls. One way you can show us that you're here is just by moving these. You touch these balls, you move them, they'll light up like that. Okay, so I've got 3 of those in here.
For those of you at home, we've also got one in the doorway and one on the windowsill.
Okay guys, so I've just hit record on a GhostTube Vox session. This is a brand new app available for free on both Android and Apple. Links are below. Definitely try it out. Jared and I built this ourselves. So very excited to be using it here at the Roundhouse. If there are any spirits around, if there is anyone here that wants to communicate, whether you are held here as prisoner, whether you lived here, we would love to hear from you. If you can come close to me, come close to these lights in my hands, maybe you can use that to tell us your name or say hello. That was a bit creepy. It was like someone breathing. Maybe you can also make a noise in this room for us. Can you knock on something? Can you show yourself? Can you say something very loud to us? Maybe there's somebody who can hear my voice out in the courtyard. If you can, you're welcome to come in here.
That sounds like a younger person that time.
Yeah, I did wonder if there could be children here. There were women imprisoned here, and actually there is a bakery that was sort of made here for one of the women who spent a long time here and raised a child here essentially.
There's also the warden's kids by the looks of it.
I think they had about 6 kids. One of the families that sort of run this, I think James said. Do you know who the man in the cell over here is? The man with the big bushy beard.
Here.
Who is that man?
The border.
The boy or the border?
I couldn't tell the difference there.
The border. The border. The border.
What's the boy's name? What's the boy's name?
Is John here? Is John in the roundhouse, or is he somewhere else? What'd you call me?
I thought I heard the hall.
A hole. A hole. A hole. I want.
What do you want?
I want. I want. I want.
Wait, which way did the figure go? Was it this way or
It
that
walked
way?
from where you were standing across.
Yeah. Let's just walk into this other room.
Watch the cat ball.
Oh crap. Why can you remind me? Crushed into a cat ball. Did you touch those colourful balls earlier? What do you want to say?
I'm hearing a lot of like a woman's voice now in this room. A lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you get the feeling it was a woman that walked through as well?
Yeah, I did.
Who is the lady here? That was odd because it was like two voices at the same time. Where do you want me to go? I'll go wherever you tell me to. This way? It's getting really cold out here. I'm going to take the initiative and go into the bushy beard man cell.
Is this where we've already got a camera going?
Yeah. Is there anyone in here?
Do you want us to enter?
Oh. Someone in here?
You were too far away from that.
I feel like I heard a man's voice come through and say like boo when I walked in as well, and that went off.
It said boo on there.
I feel like it did, like it was a deep man's voice.
Is someone in here talking to us?
I wonder, I don't know if that's gone off this whole time either. It's weird that it came on the second I walked in and I said, is anyone in here? Curiously, this was the only time the REM pod triggered whilst in this cell. Could there be a significance to the device detecting something the moment I stepped inside? Leave us a comment below. Have you shown yourself to people? I've heard that people have seen you in here. What is your name?
Please.
Please. Can you please tell me your name? I'm sorry, I don't have great manners, do I?
Please. Please. Please.
Did you make that blue light turn on when I walked in here? Can you light up again, please?
So guys, just to demonstrate how close I can get to this without it going off. So you've got to be really close to it.
Yeah, so I'm going to walk out of the cell just to show you that that was not me triggering that. And I probably walked, this close?
Mm-hmm.
And I walk back in. It's not me that triggered that. I find that very strange. That's very odd and coincidental, almost on cue, like, hey, I'm in here.
And you heard Vox say, boo?
I don't know if it was boo or it could have been an ooh. It was a ooh sort of noise, and it was like a deep male voice. Maybe I just perceived it as saying boo because it was like, boo, like you just came in here, I'm trying to like scare you, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, we were not able to capture more activity in the cell where some claim to have sighted a bearded prisoner. So at this point in the night, we decided to move our active investigation into another cell where there has been a known death in the past. Again, my name is Amy and I'm here with Jared tonight at the Roundhouse. We wanted to come into this cell and reach out. I know this is where a man spent his final night. It would have been a very terrible night as well. Being wet and cold. I'm not sure if you... Do you not like us in here? Do you want us to stop? And maybe you don't like me talking about that particular night? Can you give us a sign that you're here? If you go towards this green light in the middle of the room, or if you touch any of one of these balls, they should light up just like that.
I thought I heard something in the courtyard then.
I heard a scratch. Or something, like it felt like it was the door, on the door, you know what I mean? Can you make another noise for us, please? I did see earlier some more lights light up on this. I don't know if that was you, if you could do that again though. Can you tell us your name? I wonder if we're getting anything on the SOS in the front room as well. I'm gonna replay this and see if we get any EVPs.
That's gone off?
This could be my phone.
Oh.
Do you not like us in here? Do you want us to stop?
Might have been me touching the wall, maybe.
Can you give us a
I
sign
hope.
that you're here? What was that?
Oh, I heard something over here, but
click or something.
I was leaning on the wall, and I thought like a rock or something fell down. That's what it sounded like. I can't see any here though. Might have been me because I'm leaning on the wall here.
That was weird. I heard something. I don't know.
Could it be me? I was leaning on the wall, but I didn't feel anything give way. Weird.
Go towards this green light in the middle of the room, or if you touch any of one of these balls, it should light up just like that.
What's that?
Are you on the wall again?
No, I'm not leaning on the wall anymore. I moved away.
I don't know. Again, like I hear little scratch noise or something. Can you tell us your name?
K2's going off.
That's weird.
Any EVPs?
No. I just heard voices.
Just get the out of me.
Are you touching him?
I got really cold all of a sudden and I got goosebumps.
I don't know how that works, but it's disturbing. This room hasn't actually been investigated ever before. What the f was that? I just heard a man's voice.
We're here.
It doesn't seem right, does it? That was the creepiest thing I've ever heard in my life. Is there a woman here?
It's him. Can you come up and touch this for me?
Crypt Keepers, I think we're off to a really good start to the night. There's been, I wouldn't say we've had heaps of activity, but I mean, obviously I haven't reviewed all of my footage and still cameras. There are a few things that were quite curious. One to me, which I feel was the weirdest of all, was when we walked into the bearded man cell and the REM pod went off. Maybe it was going off that whole time. I don't know, I'll have to review the camera. It was just really odd how it went off as soon as I walked in, and then there was that male's voice come through Ghost Tube Box. I think we're going to see more of that cell in part 2. So if you guys haven't already done so, make sure that you hit subscribe and turn your notification bell on, because we'll have a follow-up video coming up really, really soon. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. That really helps me out. If you want to do more reading about the Fremantle Roundhouse or any other haunted locations from around the world I've visited, head to AmysCrypt.com. You can also follow me on social media at AmysCrypt on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. We also have GhostTube accounts as well, so chuck them a follow while you're there. Bonus content on my Patreon and YouTube members are there linked below. But thank you so much for watching, Crypt Keepers. Until next time.